All right. Well, it is that time where we address all your deep, deep concerns. Hopefully, the changeover from the previous video went seamlessly. I hadn't added my follow redirect link until after the previous show began. So hopefully it worked. I don't know. We'll find out. Yes. Hello to all of you. Feel free to ask your questions here again for maximum visibility. Question time. I mean, question tome. Yeah. Uh, we could make a tome of our time here. Yeah, never mind. Rain seems to be holding off. Maybe able to hang on to the end. Jojo made it. Howdy, Jojo. I saw you on the other show. You said hello. I could not respond. Couldn't do it. And Cuber's here. When do you think Tesla removes safety drivers? I don't know. They don't appear to be doing anything. So month or two would be the optimistic guess. 3 to 4 would be the pessimistic guess, but I really think 1 to 2 because they don't appear to be serving a function inside the vehicle. And if they're trained for that, maybe that means they can go back to command center and deal with being a supervisor from there, being a remote supervisor, a remote monitor, hopefully, rather than a teleoperator. We know that some of the companies in China doing autonomy don't have remote supervisors as much as puppeteers because they are so involved. And Cruise was the same way. We had no idea that the remote operators were intervening every mile or two. That's not scalable. The fact that they tried to scale is concerning and alarming, and to me, smacks of dishonesty. How's everybody doing, by the way? What's the weather where you are? Hopefully not flooding, but I would love to hear from you on that one. So let's get back to the questions from the show. Oh, we got some good early ones. Early thumbs up. Hey, thumbs up is free. You can do it. You can also let me know what the thumbs up count is. Hello, everyone. Buying the dip. I recommend Nashville hot chicken dip. Okay. Well, I think not dipping advice, but I think that one will be interesting to try. Seem to be hovering around $2.95 for 3 hours now. Well, that's stability. That's a floor. Use the case I got from trimming a few shares around 460 to buy back in around 240. Have essentially nothing in the tank to purchase anything at the moment. You sold at 460 to buy back in at 240. Oh. Let's see. Still, I'm usually lousy at timing purchases and sales. Let's see. Yes, you guys got that all squared away. I did send your information to each other, at least on one destination. Okay, let's see. Early thumbs up helps. Pretty please. Howdy. I'm waiting for 222 again. You might be waiting a while, but you never know. Something crazy could happen tomorrow. They could get kicked out of China. They could have the factory. I mean, we just don't know. I feel bad for people who make bold bets and are crushed by force majeure events that no one saw coming. There are 2 businesses in my town that sold just before the pandemic. And they were sold, both of them sold on contracts. And in both cases, the purchaser sold it back to them, said, yeah, the down payment I gave you, the 3, 4, 5 payments I gave you, keep them. I can't afford, there's no money. And unfortunately, both of those businesses then didn't qualify for paycheck protection grants or loans because they were new businesses that just started, even though they'd been there 20 years. Very tough times. There was also an Italian restaurant that it was just about to open by the river. Oh, we were so excited. Never opened. How much money they lost? I'm going to guess all of it. I'm a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Lidar. I saw a comment on the chat on Herbert's show saying, well, Lidar's getting so cheap. Why doesn't Tesla just add it? Why would they? I mean, radar is cheap. Why don't they add that too? Ultrasonic is cheap. Why don't they add that too? More data is not always better data. And when you've got a sufficient amount of data, why add more? It's not, I've seen, well, but Tesla can't drive in the rain. It appears to drive better in the rain than Waymo. Well, Lidar can't see through rain, or Vision can't see through rain. Vision can see through rain better than Lidar can. Lidar sees every raindrop as a solid object. That's not helpful. And cameras can't drive straight into the sun. Lidar can't either. The Lidar is just a different kind of camera. It's just, instead of looking for the visible spectrum, it's looking for its own laser pulse. The sun can blind that. I'm real exhausted, getting real run down by the Lidar people. So, hey, what are you going to do? Advertising doesn't make sense until production capacity is well above demand. Production capacity is well above demand. Berlin and Texas have never been anywhere close to capacity. They could be producing far more. Tesla's loved to say all along that they were supply constrained and never demand constrained, and I never believed that. Even before I had the channel, you could see Q1 was always the softest quarter. Why is that? Well, because Q1 is always soft in the automotive industry. Well, not if you've got infinite demand. Well, not if you have insatiable demand. In that quarter, you should be able to have another record quarter. And Q1 has, I don't think, ever been a record quarter, because it's not that they had more orders than they could fill. It's that they were choosing to keep days of supply lean. Welcome to the emotional support system. Let's see. Bradford knows that I have contacts in different locations, but when I say that I will not disclose the information that you provide to me, I mean I won't disclose it. I won't. So the information who would like to get, you would think, with me being a member of the Rebellionaire group and Bradford being the sponsor of the Rebellionaire group, that means I would automatically feel like some obligation. But if it's a confidential source, it's confidential. If you're telling me on background, then it's on background. I protect my sources. The amount of information I shared publicly is now equal to the amount of information Bradford has, because, And my sources, unless two of them tell me the same thing, are single source rumors, which you can't always trust, in part because maybe they're mistaken. Maybe they're not sufficiently forthcoming, and maybe they do know everything and they are telling you the truth, and the plan changes. It's just tough to say. Yeah, I had a guy say, "Oh, I can get you insider information from Lucid. Send me the list of questions and I'll get you the answers." I'm like, that's not how a source works, my friend. But I am going to be able to meet with officials from Lucid on Saturday. So I should be able to get some questions. I've got questions answered regarding gravity, not the force of nature, but maybe it'll seem like a force of nature. We'll find out, because I should be able to drive it. Monthly payment of $129 to $149 will open the floodgates even without advertising. Yes, but not as much as it would with advertising. I still encounter people regularly who think these $35,000, $40,000 cars are double that. So, and, get them behind the wheel, and they definitely think it's worth more than it is, because it is worth more, but the market is the market. Time may eventually come, and it would vary by country. I did see someone say, here or elsewhere, we don't know how effective ads will be, right? But we can measure it. It can be measured. There's a reason GM spends $1 billion a quarter on advertising. If they thought that sales would not be dramatically impacted by the reduction of it, they wouldn't do it. It's Tesla's unique in their dedication to not advertising. And a lot of companies that don't advertise have different kinds of outreach programs, which I will tell you firsthand that Tesla does not engage in. An accident doesn't equal a collision. Hmm. 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 Well, those incidents that we heard, if one of them was failing to yield to a emergency vehicle, that's not a collision, but that's definitely something that would need to be reported. Yeah, 137 instances. You'd think we'd have heard of more than one or two. Would you rather have Elon focusing on a stable and most of all safe progress of Robotaxi or advertisements with unsure results? That's the one I was talking about. Uh, you and I can be unsure of the results, but the results can be measured. If I really think people don't know that it is the safest car and that it is as cheap as it is. I'm not saying dump $1 billion into it like GM and Ford both do. I'm saying there's a benefit. And I think those two things can exist separately. I don't think placing an ad distracts from the work being done by Robotaxi or for Robotaxi. Uh-huh. I'd be happiest if advertising never happened, but it's a tool and you need to know how and when to use any specific tool. Um, I would agree. I can agree with all that. I'd love there to be an old remake of the Leaf commercial. It was hilarious, but it's too soon. I don't know that commercial. You'll have to tell me what we're talking about. Let's see. We are doing fantastic on time. Might not get through all of them, but we will try. The AC seats are the bomb. Oh, so I turn off the HVAC when I'm recording in the car to keep the audio nice and clean. Someone pointed out, you can still have the seat coolers on. I was like, oh, game changer. And boy, those seat coolers on a hot day, oh, I doubt the Gen 1 Cybercab will match the 2026 Model Y smoothness over bumps, but maybe it won't matter too much. I don't know. That's a great question. I am the only person with a YouTube channel who has not ridden in one, it feels like. But yeah, I don't know. Um, I will say that now that I'm back in my old Model Y, because, that's my car, it's much bumpier and noisier than the Highland. The new Model Y, similarly quiet and smooth, but it feels like a real step back. It's pretty simple to me. Tesla isn't going anywhere. Mainstream media will cause ups and downs. The products and services will continue to grow the base and investor numbers. I buy low. Eventually, the only thing that matters is execution. Over the short term, it's noise. Over the longer term, less so. Let's get back to the questions on this video. The ones you brought in nice and late. Greetings. Let's see. When will Tesla have 1,000? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. I will open that up to the audience. When do you think Tesla will have 1,000? Because could be any day now. But realistically, a year? I don't know. I have no idea. Do I think it will ever arrive in China? Yes. Yes, China has a robust framework for testing. They're now allowing consumers to use supervised FSD. That's the first step. I'm confident they will. So it looked like the donut-shaped camera on an Uber. Any thoughts? I don't know what that means. Massive power outages affecting 30,000 people. Just got power back on a few minutes ago. Eesh. I'm sorry. One thing for sure, the security riders are not waking up the sleeping customers. Your job is to just sit there. Your job is not to not be part of this. You are a wildlife photographer, and they're taking it seriously. I love it. In Austin, the new rainforest. Oh, it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to see the photos. Rainy. Apparently, the correct abbreviation is never mind. Till 17 thumbs. We got to bump those up. Those are rookie numbers. Any thoughts on bumper camera possibly being used to enhance 3D vision for edge cases like chains across driveways? I would have to think on that, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The chain issue, the small barricade issue, the toll booth arm issue, that needs to be addressed. Well, those should all have yellow stripes. Hey, I agree, but they're not gonna. Missed last 2 days of Tesla news was on candlelight after reserve batteries ran out. Oh no. Lee, the news on Grok is tonight at 8:15 p.m. Pacific, so super late in most of the Western world. There will be a live stream. Is it 8 o'clock or 5 o'clock? Anyway, this evening there will be a live stream announcing something new with Grok and Grok 4. Some believe that means we're getting Grok in the car, and maybe we are. I will be live streaming it with John Twigg from the UK, who will be up in the wee hours of the night to join us. Let's see. Any comments on the Tesla floods? Federal government seems responsive. Tesla floods? Tesla floods. I don't know what that means. It rained lightly here in Western Oregon, breaking the traditional summer drought. We have overcast skies in Southwest Washington. No rain yet. When do you see countrywide adoption of Robotaxi? Well, the short answer is when it's ready. Speculating beyond when it's ready is difficult. But I would say from the time it is ready to scale, I'd say we'll get to 80% adoption in a year or two and 100% adoption, 100% availability, at least in most markets, within another year or two after that. Texas floods. Oh, the Texas floods, Matt. I am so sorry. Any comments on it? No, it's devastating and terrible, and I'm deeply saddened by those who are who did not make it and those who are still missing. Apparently, they have not found a survivor since Friday. Dan Ives is leaning Ross Gerber now. No, Dan Ives is still incredibly bullish on the company and on Elon. He just thinks that CEO should have measured words. And that is an industry standard. That is an industry norm. I've seen people saying, "Oh, he wants to take away Elon's free speech." No, he just wants it to be a separate thing. Elon despises the notion of people at his companies not working all the time, every day, and punching clocks. But also, he shouldn't be punching a clock. And I can see why investors like Dan Ives would find that a difficult square to circle or circle to square, whichever it may be. And having your investment fluctuate wildly by statements made by a CEO is something investors may not be super jazzed about. And he's free to tell him to shut up. That bothers me 0%. But freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. People are fired all the time for things they say when they're at work or not at work. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. It's just called having a job. Papa John, famously, was fired from his own company for his expression of speech. Look like a donut-shaped camera. I don't know, man. When will there be a contractor builder version of Cybertruck? I mean, depends on how you define that. There already is. The $70,000 version, which I don't recommend anyone buy, is a stripped down version, but yeah. Let's see. But Lidar can't see the sun. I had real problems with the light glare in the Model Y, but none in the Model 3. And then we noticed just how filthy it is under the camera shroud. I will get that in for service soon. Elon has a full plate. They gave up on the Cybertruck and took it out of production with the latest shutdown and retool. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. It's using light to figure out range to objects around it. The sun is 152 million kilometers away. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. But regardless, you can be blinded. Buying the FUD. I'm engaged in an experiment on my country road, which has a 1/4-mile detour for the next month. So far, the car has no trouble entering from one to the other, but sits and gives up at the other side. That's fun. I went through all my trouble spots recently to determine how well the current version of version 13 is doing, and it nailed all of them, which was great. Uh, big jump. Uh-huh. See, I got enough time. Oh, yeah, I think we can get through this. User data could be a big reason Waymo so important to Alphabet, aside from the AI robo aspect. Maybe, maybe. I think they just wanted a piece of the future. And if Waymo could have gone to market the way they intended to on the timeline they imagined, it'd probably be just a cash cow. But it's proven the solution to self-driving has proven so much more difficult than anyone in the industry imagined. When will FSD have a single model? Hmm. Yeah, unknown. Unknown. I'm sure that's something that they are working to do to get the stacks harmonized, but I do not know. Because what are they going to do? Maintain 3 stacks? Advertising, with any incentive, is baked in or increases the product's price. So if it can be prevented, it will. Yes, but if I said, look, give me $1,000 out of your $4,000 or $5,000 margin, and I'll move a cajillion units, you'll take it. It's just a deal you'll take. Cybertruck was Elon's biggest mistake. Can you imagine if he would have focused on the Model 2 instead? Scott, you should watch some videos specifically on this channel. You can't build the Model 2 before the Cybertruck. There would not have been enough 48-volt parts to make it happen. You have to, well, I mean, criminy, why build the S? If the X is better, why build the S or X? Just skip straight to the 3. Heck, skip straight to the Y. Heck, skip straight to the compact. You got to walk before you run. And the technology deployed in the Cybertruck, 48-volt steer by wire, a lot of that was a test bed. And if you'd have tried to do it in that order, it would not have worked. There would not have been sufficient batteries 2-3 years ago to actually build that car. And that's based, even with the extra glut of batteries that did show up, wouldn't have worked. I still think they should have built Mexico. I think the timing would have been right. The Cybertruck would have been out. The lessons would have been learned. They could have done it. But stick around. You'll learn some things if you watch my channel. Leaf commercial. Well, I can't watch it now. Too busy. Grok and roll. Well, I was going to say Grok around the clock, but Grok is maybe still on a little holiday after apparently an unauthorized user once again made changes to its prompts which had a very predictable outcome that was not good. So whoever made that change to the code should be forbidden from touching the code, really should be fired, but definitely shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the code. Because if the change to the code base is as reported specifically to me by Grok, then that person should not be permitted anywhere near this or any AI that people are going to take seriously, because that was predictable, dangerous, and dumb. I think Cybertruck, calling it its biggest mistake, overlooks the launch. Oh, yes, the Model 3 assembly line. We're going to have no humans involved. We're still going to use all the parts and processes that humans have always done, but we're going to try and automate them out. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake. That almost cost the company. When do you think they'll really unveil the new model? Not the first half, I'll tell you that much. I kept saying we're not seeing it. We're not seeing spy shots. We're not seeing leaks. We're not seeing road testing. I want to believe, but we're still not seeing those things, and we're in Q3. Let's see. Well, it skipped down to the bottom, but I think we're going to make it. Yeah, we're going to make it. Sun caused interference. If you're still in the same place or moving slowly, though, Oh, Tesla should let their Chinese engineers loose on everything, is what I hear you saying. And I agree. Apparently, there is a power struggle. Shanghai was supposed to have its own design center, an empowered design center, Berlin as well. And the US design team, as I understand it, the rumors I have heard from insiders, the Tesla design center in the US said no, our designs, which I think is something you should veto, you should overrule. Because, guys, you've got so many talented people all over the world. What are they doing? Insurance and maintenance must also be paid for, and non-rider miles between rides as well. Yeah, you do have to. Well, this is in response to something specific. Right. The price estimates, it's no. Cybercab will never be 8 cents a mile. That's too low. The tires cost almost that much. I've seen people with very optimistic takes on what it'll cost. I do not see a time in the foreseeable future when it will be under $1 a mile, nor should it. $1 a mile is plenty low enough for extremely wide adoption to conquer the current rideshare market and to start cutting into ownership markets as well. Would you watch a bunch of commercials for a free Robotaxi ride? No, but I would say that I would and then not watch them. And that's why it wouldn't work, because I have headphones and I'm capable of closing my eyes. And there's no way they're going to make it so that the cabin monitoring says, you're not watching. That'd be torture. So I don't think that'll happen. I will watch the Leaf commercial, just not this minute. Insightful. Thank you. Would adding hardware 5 and a new chip enable a leap in FSD abilities? We don't know. All we know is that hardware 5 will presumably be more powerful. It'll allow it to think further in advance, consider more possible outcomes. But we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if the cameras will be the same or different. We don't know. We just don't know. I'm going to jump over real quick because I got a minute or two. If you got any last second things you want to get in, do it. This is where you were, Jojo. Hey, indeed. It's got to be battery shortage. Fortunately, battery supply was drastically overbuilt because every company said we're going all in, and most were lying. No, we really meant it. Did you? Because you've been saying it forever. Let's see. I think we're pretty well through it. Holds 17 people. The 4.5 times larger Model Y inference. No, the car's not. I mean, that'd be cool. 4.5 times bigger Model Y. Kyle Connor recently added the Nissan Leaf limo to a little race they held. That was hilarious. All right. Let's see. Okay, well, we'll just jump back here and make sure. Any travel plans? If you're asking me, I'm going to be at Electrify Expo on Saturday, at least for the most of the day. I'll actually be there at 8 a.m. for the Ford coffee and cars and donuts thing. Better be donuts. Getting me up early. So I got to drive there, man. It's hours away. And I'll be there big chunk of the day. Then tomorrow, in fact, I'm going to be at the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association picnic, oeva.org. There's a picnic. You can join us for that. You're welcome to. Saturday's the Electrify Expo. I've got a bunch of stuff. Monday, I may be in Seattle for the Slate Look at Our Car Expo. That'll be cool. Electric Era has an event on Monday. I may or may not be able to get to that. The X Takeover is coming up. Yes. My travel plans are getting more local. I haven't decided, but I'm probably not going to the Fully Charged show in Vancouver. I'm just burnt out and my trips are costing more than I expected. And there's a limit to how much of that I can do. So that's my travel plans. Does AI4 have heated cameras? Heated? I don't think so. The ones in the B pillar do have air circulating as far as I understand. Uh, Tesla should design air cleaning for Chinese EV rooftops. It's so much easier to just not poison the sky than it is to try and apply antidote to the sky. And China's done a remarkable job of cleaning up their air. It's a difficult prospect to clean the air. 6 hours parked, 2 weeks worth of dust. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. My son has been washing his car. He's probably had it. We've probably had it washed more times than my Model Y has been washed, but it still gets dusty. I was like, wow, red really shows the dust, but it's like tree pollen or something. I don't know. Does a Juniper look suspiciously like a Kia Hyundai? The more I look at it, the more it does. The less it looks like a Tesla. All right. Well, thanks for the rest. I will be live streaming tonight for the Grok thing. Hopefully that's exciting. John Twig will be joining. Guys, like, subscribe, pretty please. The subscribes really help. At the rate I'm going, I will hit 100,000 subscribers by the middle of 2027. So that's a thing that's happening. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, on the flippity flop. Yeah.